Welcome back to Heroes of the Cards number 3. I'm Azale here with Kriparian, and we're going to be going into the lower bracket finals here between Powder and Kolento. Both players have banned out the Hunter, so should be a pretty interesting match.
Should be. That Hunter ban. I mean, expect anything less here? Just
No, I guess not,
banning
man. I
Hunter
guess you
after
can at
Hunter.
this point. Yeah.
Man, I thought Kolento, after suffering the fate of the Zoo, he would maybe consider banning the Zoo Warlock, but nope, it's still the Hunter.
Yeah.
Now, with the both Hunters banned, the only deck that both players actually share is the Zoolock.
Yep.
Powder is running Druid and Rogue as the other two classes, and Kolento has the Mage and the Priest. Now, I think the Priest does quite well against the Druid and the Warlock, and quite poorly against the Rogue. And the Mage, I think, normally should do pretty well against all Zoo decks, like the Warlock, very well against the Rogue, and maybe a little bit less well against the Druid. But overall, fairly evened up lineups. There's some matchups you want to avoid, like you don't want to run in your Priest against the Rogue. You don't want your Mage against the Druid. So I'm actually expecting Kolento to... oh, he's already selected the Mage. That's pretty interesting. I thought he'd open up with Warlock.
Yeah. I was kind of expecting that as well, honestly, with the Zoolock. Having some problems with the stream, so I'm going to try to get that back, but just keep going, Grip. I'll be back with you soon.
Well, as it stands, Kolento has queued up. He's got his Mage selected, and he's waiting for Powder to queue into him here. Now, from Powder's perspective, I wouldn't want the Warlock to open up against the Priest, but I don't think Kolento would pick Priest. So I think opening up with the Warlock is just fine. I think I'd try to save the Rogue to counter the Priest. And I think I'd try to save the Druid to try to counter the Mage. I think I like Powder opening up with Warlock, and I think I like Kolento opening up with Warlock. Double Zoo. You can't go wrong. Straightforward stuff, man. I was actually playing some Zoo myself earlier with the Murlocs involved, and it turns out it doesn't really matter what you do. As long as you have enough annoying little dudes in your deck, you're pretty good to go. Now the players are jumping into the first game here. I believe Powder did end up going with the Zoolock. However, Kolento I didn't see, but I doubt that he would change his mind from his Mage pick. So we're going to see Mage versus Zoolock in the tournament. So far, I don't believe Mage has won a single one of these, even though I think in general it is slightly favored. There's a lot of hinges being tightened and spectators being gathered right now. Guards being bribed. So much so that it's actually maybe a little bit of an issue that they're experiencing. Yes, in fact, there is a disconnect to one of the players. So they're probably going to get started fairly soon here.
Hello, I am back.
You didn't miss much. One of the players ended up disconnecting. I think it was Powder. So they're going to reinitiate the challenge. But
Right,
as
perfect.
they were queuing up, just to recap, it looked like Kolento opened up with Mage and Powder indeed with the Zoolock.
Okay, well, that seems like that's a pretty good matchup for Kolento. I mean, well, we've said that twice now, and both
And it's
times.
never worked.
Yeah,
Mage has not beat Zoolock in this tournament so far.
yeah, exactly. So I guess we'll have to maybe hold our tongues a little bit and see how this one plays out. But you know, at least I guess we can say it's probably a matchup that Kolento would be happy with. Whether or not he actually ends up winning it is another story, I guess. I mean, it has been Zoo just absolutely dominating, but
It really
players
has.
look like they are getting ready, and I'm sure Powder is going to be hoping that he can continue that trend in this series. I mean, he got 2 of his wins with it in the last one, and was looking like he was poised to go for the sweep before he did get shut down. Either way, you know, both players looking pretty strong. Alrighty, so we do see that Freeze Mage coming out. It is going to be the Freeze Mage versus the Zoo.
That's okay for the Freeze Mage. I think the Zoo is consistent enough that you just get a pretty good hand regardless.
Yeah.
The Doomsayer is a pretty big card, though if Powder draws into an Owl, it's a completely different story. But right now it seems like it'll hold up. It's still a 1 and a 2, and you're going to draw into more garbage. So, I mean, yeah,
I mean, you always are.
It's not a great hand, but I mean, the reason Zoo does so well on average is because you never really get a terrible hand.
No, exactly, because you just don't have anything that is that terrible to. I mean, you have so many low drops that you're always gonna have something, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just not the dream hand that we've been seeing a lot of time from Zoo. You know, with Undertakers into multiple Death Rattle, like 1-drops and things like that. So it's looking like it's gonna have to be a very early Doomsayer here, kind of slow things down. But you know, I don't know if he even really cares about that. Do you drop the egg into this? Do you think to get the Death Rattle?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's actually really nice. Yeah, so I mean, it's like you can just drop your egg into that, and you go face, and it's like, yeah, he kills off the Voidwalker and the spider, but you have 2 little spiders coming out, you have a 4/4 coming out, so his board's actually stronger after the Doomsayer goes off than it was.
And that's
before.
how you roll with the Death Rattles.
Yeah.
Here, if you're Kolento, I think drawing is okay. I think developing the block is also okay. Chooses to draw. Alright. He made the decision pretty quickly. I don't know if drawing is really the best play there, because like the only creature that you have is Acolyte. If you're drawing there, you're kind of committing to spells, I feel.
Yeah. Really is kind of a crappy hand, to be fair, from the Warlock. He has double Doomguard in his hand, you know, like, you know, it's like the only cards they like couldn't play, like, and you never want to have both Doomguards in your hand at the same time.
I think but here still, what you'd consider doing is Frostbolting the 5/4 and then pinging off a 1/1 to set up for a Coin Blizzard play. What you could also do is Frostbolt and then coin out an Acolyte, which I think is a little more ambitious. I don't think that's really the best way to do it.
Yeah. We'll see what he decides to go with. I do like Frostbolting a 5/4 and pinging a 1/1. I mean, I suppose it's possible he just also just, you know, kills the 5/4 as well.
Now, what I was talking about earlier with the Ice Block is like developing instead of the Arc Intellect wasn't great, but it's so hard to
find the time to do it later.
Yeah.
Look, double Frostbolt, wow.
A very, very defensive play.
Yeah.
Generally, the double Frostbolt isn't the best because you kind of nullify your Ice Lance. But seems alright.
Well, he's gonna drop the Doomguard, it looks like, and he's hoping he... Oh, no, thinks better of it. I mean, I guess he's thinking, like, you know, he has to know that Coin Blizzard can come out. So even if he Arguses any of this stuff up, it's still gonna die. So it's like, he's not actually putting it out of range of anything. So I think Doomguard is the best play. And it's 50-50 on if he discards his other Doomguard. He's really going to be hoping he doesn't. I'm sure he's praying that he discards 2 1-drops. Let's see what he gets. Yeah, it's not bad.
That's perfect, actually, because he can play the 1-drop.
Yeah, jeez. Well, we'll see what he draws next turn. But either way, I mean, it's like...
You have to Coin Blizzard.
Awkward. Yeah, you have to, just because you can't afford to take this damage.
Well, I guess you can. You can Ice Berry and ping the 4/1.
But Doomguard coming out next turn as well, though. I mean, the damage is going to start getting so high. How's he going to deal with these 2 Doomguards? I mean, it's like he just doesn't seem like he's going to even have the mana to deal with them. I mean, if he Ice Barriers here, he'll be at 20 effective HP, kills the 4/1, 7 damage on the board. He looks like he's going to go for Coin Blizzard, though.
Yeah, Coin Blizzard I think is the only realistic play there.
Yeah, I think you had to. But I'm just thinking, like, what for his next turn, you know? It's like, he's going to be put down to... Oh, whoa, he tapped? Huh. Oh, wow. Triple 1-drop, oh man. Okay. I mean, now you're facing down 10 damage on the board with 5 damage in hand. He doesn't know that, but still, it's like, you pretty much have to play your Ice Block. Almost. I mean, it's like, what do you even do here? A fireball? If you play a fireball, you can't ice block. I mean, you could very well fireball that Doomguard up. Do you think you ice block Ice Barrier, or do you think you just fireball that and drop your loot hoarder or something? I mean, it seems like everything is kind of brutal.
It's so hard to push out cards.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the mana to start to get his cards out. It's like he's thinking about Ice Barrier, Ice
Double
Block,
Seeker.
I guess. Yeah, and I think that's not a bad choice because I mean we know how much damage is there, but at the same time, it's like leaving that Doomguard down is so brutal too. So he's gonna do it.
The thing is, like, he kind of needs 2 cards to turn the game around, and it's impossible to actually draw 2 cards and play them both.
Yeah.
All right, let's think about this here. So you can't trigger Ice Block even with a Soulfire draw.
I think he's thinking about just tapping and just playing the dwarf. Yeah.
Ooh. Pretty nice.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it sets up for next turn. He could do the Void Terror plus the Doomguard if he so chooses.
It's just that because there's no room for Polymorph in the Mage deck, the Mage is actually weak to creatures that are above Fireball range. It's actually weak to creatures that are at Fireball range because you can't really afford to use Fireballs on creatures.
Yeah, exactly. So he's setting him at 8 HP, and I mean, he can put him to 1 before he triggers Ice Block next turn if he wants to do so. There's just, I mean, what do you even do here? You have to fireball something, I guess, but it's like it doesn't even prevent anything, really. I mean, these plays just seem pretty rough. Got to fireball up the Doomguard. So I mean, that's step number 1. Okay, so he's gonna isolate the 4/4.
Okay, I like this play because now
now he can't.
Now you're drawing 2 cards next turn.
Yeah.
So if you draw like Ice Nova, Doomsayer, you can actually bring the game back.
There's a Soulfire.
Never mind, game's over.
Yeah, so he's thinking about how best to trigger the Ice Block. I mean, he could do... Oh, really? Okay. Okay, I guess that makes sense. So that would make it a 7/7 if he does place it there. He's thinking about where he wants to place the Void Tear.
You know what I would do? I would trigger Ice Block at 1 and try not to discard Doomguard. I would tap and then Soulfire face.
I don't think you need to though, do you really? I mean, it's like he can trigger it at 1 anyway, and then I mean he loses the Soulfire, yeah, but
no. Now if he does get the double draw, he can clear board, and there's no follow up to break in the Ice Block.
Yeah, that's true. But if you discard your Doomguard too, then
you're in just about the same position. You have a board that's too big to handle.
There's Alexstrasza.
That's not the card you
Can't
want.
play it
right
though,
now,
yeah, exactly.
Flame
And Flame
Strike's
Strike doesn't
not
do
good
anything
enough.
for him either. Nothing.
You
nothing
still
seems to
had
matter.
no. There's Acolyte, Ping the Acolyte, draw Frost Nova. He needs exactly Frost Nova.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets it.
Almost.
Nope. Well, that's the concede, and Zoo wins again.
3 for 3.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. Can you even say it's just like? Can you even still say it's not good of a matchup at this point? It just keeps winning.
Yeah, he really does keep winning.
And well, Kolento is gonna have to go back to the drawing board. He has his own Zoolock. He has his own Druid as well, I do believe. Or no, is it Priest? Priest his other deck or Druid?
Kolento has
Priest
so. And his own Zoolock to fall back on. Now, I think Priest is slightly favored over Zoo, especially if you run the Pyro version. Priest has 2 versions. One is like you run a bunch of the Death Rattle minions, which is pretty good against just everything else except Zoo. But against Zoo, the Pyromancer makes the biggest difference because you kind of have like hidden board clears, like the Pyromancer, and then you drop like a Silence and a Pyro Word Shield, and suddenly there's no creatures on the board. So
yeah. Well, especially when you're playing that Pyro Priest, going second is actually really big. Having the coin for that is very, very big.
Yeah.
Because the coin counts as the additional spell and stuff, so it can let you get some really nice clears off. I don't think we've actually seen Kalento's Priest, have we? Maybe we have. I'm not sure. I can't remember what version it is if we have seen it. Can you recall?
No, I don't recall, but I think people would be crazy not to play the Pyromancer version these days with how
Yeah.
rampant the Zoo and the Hunter deck is. I mean, you could just tell that's the case from the bans.
Yeah, that's true for sure. But at the same time, you talked about how in the last Heroes of the Cards, it was only handlock. So it's like it's easy. It's easy to say that now that we've seen all these zoo decks. But at the same time, it wouldn't have really been that surprising to see handlocks coming into this tournament either. We'd be sitting here saying, "Oh, well, last time it was that too." Blah blah blah. So, um, anyway. We are going to give the players a minute to prepare. Maybe Kolento needs something to think about. We'll see if he is in fact going to come out with the priest. I'm assuming he will, but we'll find out right after the break.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. That's a bad kitty.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, don't break 6.
Hey guys, welcome back to Heroes of the Cards number 3. We are in the lower bracket finals of Group B. It's Kolento going up against Powder. Powder with a 1-0 lead already on the back of his Zoo deck. He took 2 straight in the last series. Do you think he's going to take another one here?
Man, you have to consider how much this sucks for Kolento.
Yeah. Just take a moment to really just breathe it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty terrible.
Yeah, I don't like playing against Zoo on ladder, so I feel his pain a little bit.
That's pretty rough. What can you do?
Not much, man.
That's a great hand there. Pyro and Shadow Menace and going first and going second and the Powered Shield.
Yeah.
That is an extremely good hand.
Ooh. Yeah, that is very nice. Yeah, we talked about the coin. The coin going second really is a big deal. Like having the coin, it's another free spell to proc that out. Belcher not too bad as well. We haven't been able to see the hand on the other side of things just yet. Now we can.
Holy cow.
Jeez, that's a lot of damage being pushed out already. Well, we could see that we're probably going to see coin power and shield, and I mean this is the power of going.
You gotta
second.
mitigate that damage.
I mean, it's already great. He takes out 2 flame imps that have already kind of dealt 6 damage to themselves. They only got 1 attack out between the 2 of them. That is really strong. I mean, the coin is just so big. If he was going first, he would not be able to do that. And all of a sudden, I mean, the board is looking kind of crappy for the Zulok. Injured Blade Master, not too bad here either. I mean, yeah, if he puts it down, he could buff it up with Argus and kill it off that way, and that's probably going to be the play because it doesn't look like there's anything else.
I mean, there's a lot of things that the Zoo can even draw here.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, and yeah, there you go. So that's much better.
Much better. But the Shadow Menace is very threatening with the Harvest Golem on the board.
Yeah, if things get buffed up, you can actually you can take the Death Rattle for yourself.
Yeah, the Arcanine is a little bit of a waste because you don't have the circle to combo with it right away, but
Still a 3/5. It's body
Yeah.
down on the board. And that's really, I think, what he's prioritizing here.
My shield for Arga.
Well, and now, I mean,
oh man,
oh wow.
that's rough.
Yeah, but he can steal. He can steal the death battle for himself.
Yeah.
He can kill off the Voidwalker, and he gets the 2/1. And that's really where it starts. It gets like that card gets nuts. Is when you get to take the death battle for yourself. It's like not only are you killing a minion.
Oh my! No, he should not have taunted that up
Oh wow.
because that is his egg now.
Yeah.
1/3 taunt egg is a
Oh,
ridiculous
no.
catch for Cabal Shadow Priest. I think that actually ends the game. I mean, if you look at the priest's hand, he's got a lot of answers.
Yeah.
Like
no kidding.
he's having to go all in face at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, there's the
extremely
Sludge Belcher
desperate.
can come down. He can start trading with heals and stuff at this point. Like his board is so stable. I mean, this is kind of crazy. I mean, you could smite up the 3/1, and you could, okay, well he's gonna power shield. But yeah, you can power shield. You can smite it up. You can drop your Sludge Belcher. I mean, he has so many options here. Yeah.
I think here you
Sludge-
actually just silence the creeper.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's too annoying to actually fully deal with that.
Yeah, he's gonna kill that off and go face, and I mean, I feel like this game is done. Soulfire is something, but still, this is looking very dire.
Well, Lothep kind of challenges the board
Yep, that's true.
relatively well.
Still, I mean, the Zoolock is
I-
at 14 HP. You could just go face, drop Sylvanas,
Yeah,
heal yourself.
that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Or, yeah, I don't think. Is there any point in even healing that? Because he's probably gonna kill that anyway with the 5/5.
And there's no point in healing your face.
Yeah, I guess not. But either way, I
23.
mean, yeah, either way, you can just go face. Well, still, I just mean it's like if the Lothep's gonna trade into that regardless, it's gonna be
Yeah.
concede. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
And
Kolento with
very
excellent
quick game.
starting hand really pushes a very dominating win there.
Yeah, I mean, really, like he went second. He had the power shield plus the coin in his opening hand. As soon as he took out those flame imps, he really swung it back into his favor. And then, like you said, being able to steal that egg really did just kind of seal the deal.
Hmm.
He actually stole two of his opponent's death rattles. I mean, he stole the Harvest Golem death rattle, and then he stole the egg death rattle. So it's like that is the power of Priest, man. When you can get those really nice setups, take away your opponent's death rattles, take away those minions, kind of using them again.
Hmm.
Against them. It's definitely really well played by Kolento, but a great hand to allow him to do that. And now, as Powder, it's looking like he's thinking about
Well, you have
maybe,
to
trying out
pick
the rogue.
counter pick now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the rogue does do quite well against the priest. In general, it does pretty well. I think it's the Vile Teacher rogue that struggles more than normal, but I don't think that is what Powder is running. So
Oh, and they're just gonna jump right into it. So
yeah, most likely Kolento is going to drop this game, and he has his own Warlock, and Warlock does quite well against the Rogue. The Rogue has to drop a very aggressive opener to keep up with the Zoo, and the Blade Flurry from Deadly Poison Weapon becomes essential in that game. So, it's I actually feel Kolento is a little bit in a tough spot despite it being 1-1. I think it was quite expected to see the Zoo drop that game, but I think it's quite expected to see the Priest drop this one.
Mm-hmm. But we've seen a lot of unexpected things play out, so you definitely can't count them out. And card draw, card order, everything comes pretty big into play. So we'll see how it all is going to work out. Thought Steel will come down. Still the Shadow Step and Earthen Ring. But just dropping the Thalanos, okay. Just wants to get something down on the board, doesn't want to spend that SI yet, I guess. You think we'll just see the Auchenai come down? I mean, I guess it's a bit scary when, with Thalanos down on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Drop that, for the 5 Abyss. 5 damage Abyss. But still, I feel like you don't want to give the rogue too much time. If you're not pressuring the rogue early on, they can get all the cards they need. They can have that perfect setup, and that's when it's pretty impossible to stop. If you don't have early minions out there challenging them, it just gets so rough. And this is definitely a decent choice. Just drop that Earthen Ring. Well, either way, it looks like it's going to be SI. Follow up at backstab, so spell power does come into play, but not that big of a deal. Either way, it wouldn't have really mattered.
I think here the Shadow Madness is really big though.
Yeah.
Because you steal that draw from the rogue.
Yep, once again, that's what we talked about last time. Stealing the death rattles away is very important.
Actually,
and you have the Holy
there's an
Smite
even cooler
follow-up.
play.
The
There's
Holy
an even
Smite.
cooler play. There is Shadow Madness.
I think you just Shadow Madness, you trade it in, and you Holy Smite to finish it off. That seems like the play to me. Right?
I kind of like the Shadow Step on the SI.
Really?
Yeah. I think denying the draw is the biggest play though.
I like this. I think this is a good play. Zombie Chow. I'm not really one at this point, but I guess it doesn't really matter because he still is at full HP.
Mm-hmm. So here's where you kind of start to fall behind a little bit as the priest on the Lotheb turn against an empty board. Priest has one of the most efficient answers against bigger creatures, but it's not going to be good enough. Death is not going to be good enough here.
Yeah, we can't death it. You really want to drop your minions in to die? I guess if you're gonna play that, you should just play everything. You may as well drop the Zombie Chow as well. And I mean, if he doesn't trade, he can death it. Either way, he probably will end up deathing it up, I guess. I think we're gonna see the Drake being drawn. May change things, but it looks like he wants to go with the Auctioneer anyway. Auctioneer, coin. Does have Deadly to draw. Another prep, wow, so he really can dig a lot here. I noticed that. This is just looking like one of those turns, man, where like the whole deck gets drawn.
I mean that is probably going to be pretty close to the case. I do believe Powders is still like the Leroy version of the Rogue. And the Leroy version of the Rogue is going to be, in my opinion, super strong against this type of priest deck.
The one thing I guess that is maybe going for him is he's probably going to go face with his Lotheb, which means he is going to have the free death to death that up. But still, he's already taking a lot of damage.
He's also drawn a lot of cards. Like that's the main issue here.
Yep. No, I mean anytime you see that many cards drawn, you do kind of get that sick feeling in your stomach where you kind of know.
Here's the real problem. It's that you can't actually kill Lotheb and the Auctioneer. Like, yeah, you could death, but you can't deal with the Auctioneer at the same time. Normally, to deal with the Auctioneer, you have...
how do you deal with the Auctioneer?
The only way to deal with the Auctioneer is to play the Auchenai.
Yeah.
So, I actually think Kolento has lost this game.
Yeah, I think so too. Looking horrible for him. I mean, the thing is, you can't if you play the Auchenai, you can't Yeah, I mean, you can play the Auchenai and trade in, but still, you have nothing to actually kill it off. There's no way you can actually kill it off, and he's just gonna heal himself up, I guess. He will trade it in regardless, but he's at 21 HP. We see 7 damage already showing on the board.
You know what would have been good right now? An SI7 in hand for 1 mana.
Yeah.
And I think giving the Rogue another card was fairly irrelevant in this game.
Yeah.
I think even though it may not have seemed like the most clear-cut play, it's just like the Rogue forces the Priest in a situation he can't handle. and having that SI battle cry whenever you want, I think is a pretty big deal.
Definitely true. It looks like he's thinking about setting up something with Van Cleef.
He wants to draw a charger
Van Cleef.
creature. He's obviously got a charger creature in here, and he just hasn't drawn it.
Well, fairly big Van Cleef is going to come down. Has him at 10 HP, lethal showing.
Well, it's not going to be because he knows he's running into Akanai, but we also know that he's got Cold Blood in hand.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Plus, I mean, he has Deadly Poison. He has everything. The priest has a lot of work to do, and when you know that, I mean, there's like when I say lethal showing, I mean he's already has stuff down on the board that he has to deal with. He can't ignore anything. Plus, there's so many cards in your opponent's hand. You're gonna have to deal with all of that.
I think here you Shadow Step the 1/3. Yep, that kills the Gadgeson, does 1 damage to the Pyromancer. I think you heal the Pyromancer, try to draw Death. Nope. Goodbye. Yep.
There's the conceit. The Rogue able to take that one pretty cleanly.
I mean, both of us played pretty well. I really think that taking the SI and the Shadow Madness may have allowed him to survive a few more turns. But it's very doubtful that you can beat that type of a Rogue with Priest, even with all the luck.
Yeah. I mean, just take the SI and then Shadow Step it back would have been pretty cool. But at the same time, I mean, it was like pretty nice play as well. What he was doing, it just seemed to set up pretty well with the Holy Smite. I mean, to be able to steal it, take the like with your Smite, kill it off, and take the card draw, like that seems pretty nice. It's kind of hard to pass that up.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand why he did make that play, and I can see why you're arguing for the other one as well. But either way, Kolento gonna have to go back to the drawing board. He's gonna have to be able to take out this Rogue. Only has 1 deck to do it. He's gonna have to win 2 straight now, and we'll see if he's gonna be able to do so. He does just have pretty tough time ahead of him. He has the Zoolock to take out the Rogue, and the final deck would be the Druid, right? So he has to take out the Rogue and the Druid, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely possible. I mean, we've seen Zoo do so well, and getting 2 wins is definitely not too far-fetched. So either way, guys, we're gonna go to a quick 1-minute break, and then we'll be back with what could be the conclusion of this series. Hey guys, welcome back to Heroes of the Cards number 3. If you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, definitely give the channel a follow. Also check them out on Twitter at HitboxHOC, and you can follow Hitbox on Twitter as well at HitboxLive on Twitter. And we are going into game number 4 here between Powder and Kolento. Kolento up against it, gonna have to take 2 straight with his last remaining deck, and it is the Zoolock that's gonna be coming out for him.
Well, Zoo can do it. Zoo's going to be good against Rogue. I did mention that Rogue is probably going to beat the Priest deck, and we saw exactly that. But probably around the same percentage point, the Zoo can beat the Rogue deck the same. So most likely it's going to fall onto Warlock versus, I believe, Druid from Powder, which Warlock does have the advantage. But because Kolento has to win 2, he is at a little bit of a disadvantage right now. Looks like they're having some issues here.
Well, either way, guys, this is the lower bracket finals here in Group B. Kolento and Powder battling it out to see who is going to be the one to face off against Savitz in a matchup tomorrow in the semifinals. We already have our first 3 semifinalists secured for that, and we are now just looking for our 4th. So players having some issues, it looks like, with net as well, trying to get into this game, and the game doesn't seem to be wanting to launch. So nope, there it goes. Now it is finally going on in there, and it's going to be Zulok once again versus that Miracle Rogue that we just saw come up from Powder. So far, the first 3 semifinalists that we do have.
Surprised to see the Voidwalker keep.
Yeah.
I think that's to protect all the little minions from the hero power. That might be.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, it does make it relatively strong, depending on what else you're going to draw.
Generally, I do like the Flaming Opener, though. I do want to mention that Powder kind of has the hand to beat Zoo. Like, this is a backstab coin cleave turn. Or if you want to be really greedy, it's a hero power turn. And then the turn after that, you do backstab, coin, deadly poison, cleave. No, he decides not to be super greedy. Damn.
Still,
That would have been so much better.
Having both backstabs in your hand, like at the start of the game against Zoo, is so nice, especially against the Flame Imp opener.
Yeah, but that could have been a 10-10 Van Cleave. It just...
Yeah, it could have. Yeah. Then the owl comes out, and I don't know. I think this is a good play.
Your Fan and Knives draw would be ridiculous.
Yeah, no kidding. Because he does actually have a pretty good answer to this. I mean, yeah, he's going to go face, but we are going to see the Dark Iron Dwarf come out on the egg, and that's going to spawn the death battle, so he's just going to have to trade an egg and 1/1/1.
Yeah, there's no point to backstab a 1/1 there, because any +2 attack or any Argus will do it.
Yep.
Either you have it or you don't. There's nothing that gives 1 attack.
Was able to deal with that pretty well, thanks to those, those buffs from the Dark Iron Dwarf, as well as
I think if Powder was a lot greedier, it would not have been dealt with, though.
No, it probably wouldn't have. But like I said, I mean, it could be an owl sitting in his hand, you know. It's hard to justify getting that greedy when you already feel like you have a pretty good opener and stuff. And it's easy to say, you know, looking at both hands and everything. But I think that I don't think you can really criticize that play. Oh, is he really gonna drop that without the Undertaker? Surprising. Huh.
I think maybe he's a little bit afraid against Blade Flurry.
Blade Flurry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
oh
Blade
my
Flurry.
god, yeah. So there you go. Definitely was the better play.
He actually had a little bit more of a tempo play that I'm surprised he didn't make. He could have faceless the Dark Iron and then prep the Blade Flurry.
Yeah, that could have been very nice.
Would have lost the Soulfire though. Wow, bad shape already.
Yeah, down to 9 HP. 3 minions on the board. I mean, you can backstab up something, but see what he draws.
Well, you have the Shiv.
Yep. Yeah, just draw Shiv. Do you really want to Shiv the Undertaker?
Yeah, you'd want to like sap the Voidwalker, backstab the Dougie.
And Shiv hero power. Yeah.
You just have nothing right now.
Conceal. That's not gonna help.
I mean, this is a close game in terms of life totals and cards, but the fact that the Rogue doesn't have a creature and he's holding on to Faceless, I feel puts him in a really, really crappy spot. The main win condition here is that your opponent oh my god.
Oh wow.
Does Kolento know that Powder is running Faceless? I don't think we've seen it yet.
No, I don't think we have either. I feel like he's gonna play the 2 little minions though, and
Okay.
set up for lethal the next turn.
Yeah.
Because if he can't deal with the Voidwalker, that's game. I mean, he has to clear stuff, you know. Like, let's see what he draws. Leroy.
Oh wow.
And I don't think he's gonna actually drop the Leroy in. I mean,
I think he is.
You think he's gonna drop Leroy? Do you think he?
Yeah. I think he's gonna Leroy Conceal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over. But
Yeah.
there's no other play.
I guess he could. Yeah. If he does that, that's the game.
I mean, it sets up for lethal next turn. And his opponent needs 4 damage to win, which is not that likely. But, of course, we know he has it. We know Kolento's got the Doom Guard. Here, it really makes no difference. Like, if your opponent has Argus, you lose anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah.
attacking a 1/1 doesn't do anything.
I mean, and the other Soulfire would end the game here. There's a lot, you know, there's a few things that could end the game. If he had double buffs, it could end the game. I mean, it is going to be the Doom Guard coming down, but either way, Kolento stays alive and is going to force that 5th game here. And
Yep.
that is 2 series in a row that Powder is going to have to go straight to that 5th game. We'll see if he's going to be able to pull it out again with his
This
Druid
puts
in the
Kolento
final
in the lead
match.
because
Yeah, because it's the Druid coming out,
It is
which
the
is a
Druid.
tough matchup.
it is a pretty tough matchup.
We've had a lot of really close ones, and what better way to end
Zoo
it
dominance,
than,
man.
5th game.
Zoo dominance.
Yeah, Zoo has been absolutely killing it from both sides. So that's pretty nuts. I mean, man, we saw Druid beat Zoo once. I don't know if it's gonna happen twice or not, but possible.
It is absolutely possible.
All right, so they are just going to queue it right back up, and we're going to get right into this 5th and final game, guys. And this is the one for all the marbles. This is the one to decide who is going to go on to the semifinals. You know, keep their hopes alive to still win this tournament, and they will be facing. They'll be facing up against us.
That is a great Zoo hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd keep that egg. I'm actually very surprised to see him drop it. I think the egg is super strong against Druid.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you get Undertaker and a couple 1-drops here or something, it could be pretty
Oh
insane.
man. Innervate Yeti Wrath. Hello.
Yeah. Well, and Lothab is not exactly what you want in your starting hand.
Surprisingly, it's not too bad, I think.
Well, let's see what comes out. I was thinking about just using that Wrath. I like the Wrath into the Spectral Knight more, because you can't even Soulfire it.
Right.
This is
And
the same
I
thing,
like the
this is
Wrath
same thing that
onto
we saw.
the Flame Imp over the Undertaker, because it's
Yeah.
unlikely that the Warlock's going to have 2 Death Rattles here.
Yeah. And this is like the same situation we saw last time, where it was like, you know, he prioritized holding onto the Innervate for the Spectral Knight, and it's actually the exact same thing. Like where he got a Spectral Knight, and then he drew another Spectral Knight to set up Innervate Spectral Knight into Yeti into Spectral Knight. This is the exact same hand that he had the last time that he beat it.
Here, I actually don't think it's worth silencing it to Soulfire, because, I mean, you still lose a very big card. I
Yeah.
like just Abusive Sergeant and sacking the board.
Puts you like knowing what his opponent has. It puts him in such a horrible spot, though. You know, it's like he's already in such a terrible spot to win this game. I feel like
It's
I mean-
it's fine though. I mean, yeah,
Yeti's
he
gonna come
deals
down next turn, and the turn
Yeah,
after
but-
that it's gonna be Spectral Knight.
right, but he can deal with the Yeti,
Yeah,
and he can deal with the Yeti while playing creatures at the same time.
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it's gonna work out for him.
I think here the main part of the game is like, do you discard Lothab? The answer is no. That's really good. That is the best possible discard there.
Yeah, exactly. He was able to keep onto the Voidwalker as well, so that is actually huge. And he can play Lothab right next turn, so. Well, it looks like Spectral Knight going to come out here. 3/5 drops in the Druid's hand, so he still does have some very powerful minions. If he can just keep holding on, I think he's going to be in a pretty decent spot.
I think right now he's losing, but he's not losing by much.
Yeah. I would say it's pretty close. I mean, another Druid Claw, he's going to be able to play back-to-back taunts and stuff. I mean,
No, he's gonna swipe next turn because Lothar
Yeah.
is gonna kill the 4/5.
but he's still going to be able to play back-to-back taunts if he wants to. I just mean like the following turns. But either way, some more cards to drop here for the zoo. Ken start buffing up his Undertaker.
Yep, play everything. And I think you kill the 4/5 here. I think if he has swipe, you just eat it. Problem is he doesn't
Yeah.
swipe.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big problem, actually.
Yeah, it is for sure.
All right. Well, that went pretty well. I think. Oh, whoa.
You gonna draw? What's your
I
nature?
think here you attack into the Undertaker. Okay.
I like that too. I like that. I mean that then you can swipe the Undertaker and you can hero power the Amp, and that's all it
Alright.
leaves is a crappy 1/1 on the board. I think that's better than attacking into the Undertaker.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is.
And with the hand now, I mean you have to say he's solidly ahead. Like he's way ahead.
Yeah.
I don't
If
know
this-
if I don't
if
know
this
if it's
juggle
even
hits-
losable.
Oh man, he has to hit 2 for 2 here. This is 1 out of 4. 50% now. Nope.
One.
Swing and a miss.
Oh, ouch. And if he does Savage Roar, okay, let's see. No, he didn't. Okay. So I mean, I think. I actually feel like. Yeah, I guess he doesn't want to do it. Never mind.
It's just so hard to come back from this board because the druid got like so many of these like big creatures, and he got the opportunity to take the tempo by very successfully using the innervate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just had such like he was able to play strong minions every turn, like you know, and when you can actually get out that many cards, it's such a good position because it's like card for card, you're gonna have much stronger stuff, you know. So it's like as long as you're able to actually live to play those cards, you're gonna be in a great spot.
Absolutely.
I don't think Rag is that bad. You could take out like the gnome and just like drop Rag, and I mean, yeah, you can trade in next turn, but I mean the Rag has a pretty decent chance of hitting face or the 4/4. Both are pretty good. I mean, I don't think you're too scared at this point. I mean, I guess you can drop Treants as well and clear things up. You could drop Treants and clear up the 4/4 and the 2/1 and keep your bear alive that way.
Yeah.
And
I
you
mean,
can
I think
kill
this
it-
is
kill
just
off
the
the hero
safer
power, so,
play.
yeah.
And I think the safer play is the correct play at this stage in the game.
Yeah, you're right.
Kolento pretty much has to draw into Soulfire and then tap into a big enough
Guard
creature
or something. Yeah.
So right now it's drawing very slim.
Even with that, I don't know if he wins anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is pretty donezo. I mean, we'll see what the draw is.
I
It
don't.
could
The
actually
thing is,
be-
I don't think Kolento's going to take the 50-50 with Rag. I don't think it's right.
Yeah, you can just drop the taunt. There's no reason to. You
Yeah.
can just drop the taunt, the big game hunter, and hero power.
He's going to draw to see if he can draw into lethal here. That's one short, I believe.
Yeah, because he doesn't have mana to do the hero power.
Right.
You can do it anyway. Put him at 1.
It's a good play because it prevents Kolento from tapping and basically doing anything. You gotta like clear that board, taunt up, not die at hero power. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a start. But because you can't get a second card to taunt, you can't do it.
Well, that is going to be the series. Powder going to take 2 straight series in